Hey guys, welcome back to the poker vlog. For this session we'll be playing 1-2 10-handed max at Bally's Twin River Casino in Rhode Island. It's a new place, it's my first time playing there, so it's always nice to get your feet wet in a new location, something I really enjoy. For this video, I've changed the way that you'll see the hands, so you'll have some live footage from the hands, which is something that you guys left in your feedback from last time, which I want to say thank you for, and I really appreciate your support. Without further ado, let's get right into it. For today's session, we're playing at Bally's Twin River Casino in Rhode Island. We're here visiting a friend. He wanted to go to the casino, and I was more than happy to go with him. It's always nice to see an old friend, and even better to win money with him. We get there around 10:30 p.m. It's a beautiful place, my first time being here. They even have some live music that I'll let you listen into now. We're looking to make it hurt so good for our opponents tonight. We head upstairs and put our names down for the 1-2 wait list. Unfortunately, it'll be us that are hurting tonight because we can't get in the game. We have to come back the next morning. It doesn't quite look as good, but it'll do. It's well worth the wait though, as we peel pocket kings in the cutoff. First hand we're playing 2 limpers. We go ahead, raise to 10. The button and limpers call, 4 ways to a flop with 43 in the middle. Of course it comes out ace 8-9 with 2 spades. Always an ace on the flop when I have kings. I check. Button bets $6. The good old 15% raise into 3 other people. The limpers fold. I stick around. Kings are too good to fold here. Him on a weaker ace with this bet sizing so far. We're off to a turn, which comes the deuce of spades. We do a spade check to find we do have the king of spades, which means we're more than happy to call the button's $10 small bet again. Off to a river with 75 in the pot, which binks us the nut flush with the 4 of spades. We check, button bets 10, and we shoot it up to 35. He doesn't like it. He even goes on and says this out loud. That's right, he said. There's a lot of spades out there. That's true. And we have the 5th one. He quickly folds. We go ahead and scoop the first pot of the night. I mentioned we're playing 10-handed, so my opening range is a little more narrow than usual. But when it folds to me in the low jack and I have queen 8 of hearts, I decide it's good enough to open for a steal. It helps that the button is already folded out of turn. There's a $4 straddle on, so I make it 15. Only the straddler calls, and he checks in the dark. We're heads up to a flop. I go to c-bet the king 10-6 rainbow board, and he folds before I even get some chips out. Really nice, take down the first 2 pots of the night. This next hand, we have ace-jack offsuit in the small blind. There's 4 limps to me. I make it 15. Middle position and button player call. We go 3 ways to a flat with 50 in the middle, which is gin for us. It comes ace-jack 5 rainbow. We smash top 2 pair. I check to trap, but the middle position player reads my mind and open folds. Button checks. We see a turn, which is 4 of spades. I go to bet and build a pot, but
$1 is too much.
Alright, I'll take it down. The button player also soul reads me and folds before I even put a bet out. Kind of annoying not to get any streets of value. Maybe I should just c-bet, but still nice to rake in a pot. For this next hand, we look down at a premium ace-king in the cutoff. Middle position raises to 8. We quickly 3-bet to 25. He calls. We go heads up to a flop with 53 in the middle. Flop is queen 10-6 with 2 hearts. I go ahead and c-bet for 25 with our Broadway gut shot and 2 overs. He thinks for a little bit before making the call. Heads up to a turn with 100 in the middle, which comes a 9 of hearts. Complete some straights. Also the hearts come in. We check for a heart and then check this turn back. We're going off to the river, which is the ace of hearts. So we river top pair. There's 4 to a flush out there with a suit that we don't have. The middle position bet's very small, and we'll cut to my live commentary. So it's really tough to call this. There's 100 in there, 4 to 1. Good bet. You just have a heart here though, like all the time. Alright, your flush is good then. This hand. The nuts is good. The nuts is very good.
Wow, look at the flop too.
Yeah, thanks, man. Oh, what a flop, yeah? Oh. I hate folding when I'm getting a good price, but one of those spots where you know you're beat. I wasn't aware that I was beat on the turn, so very glad that that last card was also a heart. But nevertheless, we make a disciplined fold, and we're on to the next one. We get a seat change from the 10 seat to the 5 seat. One, for a better angle for you guys, but also because one of the big stacks of the table just moved to our left to the 1 seat, and we wanted to have some position on her. So we make the change right before. This next hand, we peel 7-6 of diamonds in the big blind. There's 4 limps to us. We make it 12. Could go a little bit bigger because the middle position player, hijack, button, and small blind all call. We're going a million ways to a flop. Apparently we're doing a bomb pot for $12.
I check, man. I'm not even gonna. I don't want to even look at it.
You're gonna hate this flop though.
You heard it. Small blind smokes a check. We're gonna be first to act on the flop, which is 4-3-10, 2 diamonds. We have a gut shot and a flush draw. On this board, I go ahead and continuation bet for $25. I never expect to be ahead on this board, but this is considered a semi-bluff, hoping to fold out some equities from overcards and maybe some weaker pairs, like 8s or 5s. Middle position and hijack players think it's a fair price. They both call. Button, however, really doesn't like that price. He goes ahead and min clicks us up to 50. Small blind folds back on us. While the min click is pretty strong at these stakes usually, I call because we're getting too good of a price and we still have pretty good equity against 2 pairs, sets, over pairs, even though I don't really expect him to have too many over pairs or sets, but I'll proceed cautiously if the board pairs. I check the 7 of hearts on the turn. We pick up some showdown value. Happy to get the showdown at this point. So is the middle position player. He checks. Button is not. He bets out for 50 again. One more time, it's just too small with the equity that we have. We call. Middle position player folds. We're heads up to the river. The river is an interesting one. It's the 3 of diamonds. We make our flush, but the board pairs. I can't really rule out any 2 pairs that are now full houses, as there's still plenty of 3-4 suited, or even 10-4 suited maybe. I like to talk about bet folding rather than check calling rivers with a made hand, especially one as strong as a flush. But in this case, I don't think we can get called by worse. Maybe trip 3s, but I definitely don't think he has that in his range given the aggressive line he's taken. Especially with the smaller size bets he's been making, I'm more than happy to check call a small bet rather than bet, get raised, and be put in a spot. Even though that spot wouldn't be too tough, we would just have to fold. My main concern though is that if I bet, I'll get called by a higher flush that he might check back. I don't think I can bluff him off of anything better, given my passive line. Out of position. I check and figure if he checks back here, we more than likely will have the best hand. I check to keep the pot small. Button checks back. We have the best hand. We turn it over. I have a flush.
Full house.
He's got a full house. Wow.
The dealer can't believe it. I can't believe it. The button has pocket 4s for a rivered boat. Not sure why he checked, but it saved us some money, so I'm not complaining. This next hand, we have 10-8 of diamonds and the low jack. Under the gun 1 and middle position players limp. I make it $10. Both blinds call, and so do the limpers. We're going 5 ways to a flop with 50 in the middle. But it is nice that we are in position for this one. Dealer puts out King 10-9 rainbow with 1 diamond. We flop middle pair, the backdoor straight, and flush draw. When it checks over to me, I decide that I'll put out a C-bet for $12. It's nice to have precision here because I can check back a lot of turns if we don't improve, but I can also continue barreling on any diamond, any jack or 7, cards like that can improve our hand. Small blind and under the gun 1 player call, 3 ways to a turn, which is the 7 of diamonds. We pick up backdoor straight and flush draw. It's a great card for us, and I'm going to let the dealer narrate the rest of this hand.
And for more Chester bets, 35.
We take this one down with the semi-bluff, although I doubt that anyone had a hand better than ours, but it is still nice to drag a pot with not too strong of a hand. Our next hand is probably the hand of the night. We have ace-king on the button. There's 3 limps to me. I make it 15. The small blind calls, and all 3 limpers call. There's 75 in the middle. Looks like we're doing another $15 bomb pot.
Good luck, man, everybody.
5 raise.
I only called because they did. I want to call.
Yeah. If all your friends were jumping off a bridge, would you too? While I'm making jokes with the cutoff player, the dealer puts out ace-ace-king. We flop the nuts. In a big multi-way pot. This can't get any better. Well, actually it can, because the small blind leads now for 15. And now the under the gun and hijack both call. Cutoff folds, it's back on me, and I do something a little weird here. I actually go ahead and raise with the nuts. I make it small, I make it 35. The players we're playing with, my read was that they were mostly stations, so I was expecting to get called in 2, if not all 3 places. Unfortunately, only the small blind is going to call. So there might be merit to just calling and letting him barrel, but I wanted the betting lead. I wanted to get as much money in now. Here I accidentally hit my camera so you could see the flop for a little bit before I adjust it back. Either way, we're going heads up to a turn with 175 in the middle, which is the 4 of spades. Now I look over at the small blind, and it seems like he only has about 120 to 130 effective. I could jam now, but I didn't want to give him the chance to get away so easily. I still wanted to put money in the pot. I go for a very small size of 45. It's meant to look a little weird and maybe induce him to come back over the top. The small blind maybe senses it's a little weird. He asks the dealer how much it is, and eventually he sticks in the call. Going off to a river with 265 in the middle, where I think my opponent only has about 75 left. Should be an easy all-in here. I posture for a little bit, and I decide to stick it.
How much is it? You covered. Not even good.
194.
You could hear the player in the 10 seat tell the small blind that he covers me. I think this is a little weird because I can only see 3 green chips and 2 white chips in front of him. However, what I didn't realize was, at this particular casino, cash on the table plays. Now, I'm not an idiot. Of course, if I saw some $100 bills on the table, I would realize, but the small blind had his wallet on the table rail. That was kind of resting up against the side of the table, half in, half out, with a couple of hundreds hanging out. And I had seen some players, including him, give $100 bills to the dealer for change earlier. So I assumed that this player wasn't playing with those hundreds back. So this bet goes from what I thought would be a $75 jam to now a $194 jam. Now, my actual all-in of $194 is still only around a 3/4 pot bet, and probably should still be a call for a lot of aces, but at these stakes, players tend to notice bet patterns, and so since I went 35 on the flop, if I wanted to set up a better jam in terms of incrementally increasing bet size, I probably should have gone bigger on the turn, and I definitely would have if I had known he had so much behind. Even though it's only a 75% pot bet, to the small blind, it seems like $150 more than my last bet, which is a huge increase. He actually goes in the tank for a full 4.5 minutes here. I'll spare you guys the details, and I'll just cut to his live commentary at the end of the hand here.
I've seen it too many times. I've seen it too many times. I fold.
You folded an ace.
I've just seen it too many times.
You folded an ace, huh?
I've seen it. Even if I'm wrong, I don't care.
Nice answer. You can pay to see one if you want.
How much?
No, I'm okay. I'm all right.
5. Pick a
I've
card.
just seen it too many times.
15 for bull?
Cards.
10 for bull?
Next hand, that took so long. Come on. Time is money.
I did not have kings fold. My opponent folds ace-5 suited face up, crushes my world. Great fold by him, especially since he covered me. I wasn't aware of that, but you can see the table's joking about how long he was in the tank for. He really did tank for 4.5, almost 5 minutes. He actually, after the hand, told me that he had a live tell on me, and that's why he folded. I can't imagine that's true. The guy next to me, who was pretty much a regular, pretty good player, looked at me and he goes, nah, man, like, that's how you look every pot. I was just staring at the chip rack in front of the dealer, trying to control my breathing. The small blind said that I looked fake nervous, but everybody else at the table said I looked really relaxed, so who knows. But tough not to get paid off there. Definitely would have liked the extra 194 in our stack. This next hand we have ace-4 of clubs on the button. There's 2 limps to me. I make it 10. They both call. This hand's actually not even in here for the poker, just because it was super weird. I choose to c-bet Jack 10-7 board, rainbow for 12. Only the under the gun player calls. The 10 pairs on the turn. I check it back. River's a 2. Don't see any need to bluff with ace high. So this is what happens. Ace high. Ace high.
Show me.
Is that 5?
No, ace high. Ace high. Ace high.
Ace king.
Ace king high.
Very weird slow roll, sir.
Yeah. I like to flow with you. You got flow.
Yeah, okay. Definitely a weird slow roll there. In, what is that, $64 pot, not a big pot. He definitely meant it. He had done it before to one of his buddies as a joke. Didn't know he'd do it to me. He was a calling station, so I don't even think bluffing would really work on the turn or river, because I think he calls down with ace king high. He paid off a lot of thin value bets this session. He was stuck piles for the session, but totally crushes me, owns my soul here, so definitely we're out for revenge. This next hand we pick up from under the gun +1. We have ace queen of clubs. We raise to 15. The low jack calls, and the button actually decides to 3-bet us. Min click 3-bet up to $30. It's honestly the first 3-bet that didn't come from me this game. It looks pretty strong. When it folds back to me, I consider flatting, but I'm not quite sure I want to play a 3-way pot out of position. With that being said, I'm inclined to 4-bet. Just worried about the sizing now. I decide we're going to go and raise it 3x from 30 to 90. We put in the 4-bet. The button player doesn't think too long before deciding ultimately to let it go, make the fold, we take it down.
I called 8.
An 8?
It was good, but
one of my outs was gone.
That's just kidding. You know, last hand. 2-8 down
2-3
there.
suited, I was calling.
Oh yeah.
you had what?
2-3 suited, I was calling the 15.
For my last 10 of the night, I have queen 10 offsuit under the gun. It's a little loose, but I raised to 10. Middle position player calls. It folds around. We're going heads up to a flop, and I'm just going to let this one play out. Guys, this is the first heads up pot that I played the whole night. Just want to say it.
You just want to say it?
I guess you got to say it.
poker, I play. Now when I'm up, like when I go to
15?
Vegas, I don't really play poker. I feel like blackjack and stuff, but when I'm up here, I play poker. But
And I want it. Let's do it. All right, guys. It's my last time. Sorry. And just like that, we're gonna rack it up, call it a night. Pretty fun session, but all good things must come to an end. All right, just wrapped up a 3.5-hour session at Bally's in Rhode Island. Was in for 4, out for 4.11, so a little bit of profit, I guess. Yeah, decent room, good action, a lot of splashy players, you know, very nice place. So yeah, nice to book a small win here for a friend's birthday. So we're up more on the trip. We played a little blackjack too, but yeah, nice to book a little small win in a new environment and, you know, get my feet wet with some new players. Thanks, guys.